Hello, welcome. Today I want to talk about when I found I was pregnant for the third time and how I was afraid because I knew that he was going to say it wasn't his child. And I knew I had to tell him. And I knew that what was going to happen. So the day I told him that I was pregnant was the day that I felt rage from him. The day that I thought death was going to happen. The day I thought there's no escaping now. So when I told him that I was pregnant, he had sex with me so rough because he was trying to make me miscarriage. And he felt that if he had sex with me rough, if he had sex with me from the front and from the back, it would send my body into shock and I would miscarriage. So this type of rough sex went on for weeks. Him trying to make me have a miscarriage. And he even gave me something to drink. It burnt as it was going down, but he told me to drink it to try to make me have a miscarriage. Never knew what it was. All I knew it was red and I better drink it. I don't care how bad it hurt, how much it stung going down. I better drink it. He made me do that for 2 days. Nothing happened. Only thing happened was I just got sick and kept throwing up. Got headaches. I didn't miscarriage. I didn't have a miscarriage. And as the months went on, when I became 2.5 months pregnant, he told me, he said, "You're going to have an abortion." And I don't know exactly where I went to have this abortion, but I know that when they did this abortion, I thought the way he had sex with me was bad, but when they did this abortion, I thought everything inside of me, they was taking out everything. I had the abortion. I was sick for about a couple of weeks. Hurt. I was hurting so bad I cried, but yet I was happy that he couldn't have sex with me. That was a plus. But even though I was in a lot of pain, I was hurting a lot, and I cried a lot, he didn't get to have sex with me. So once my body started healing and I was able to walk, clean the house up and all that, that's when I got accused of getting rid of the baby because it wasn't his, it was somebody else, even though he took me to get the abortion. And then he says it wasn't his child, so I got beat for that. I got beat for being pregnant, having the abortion, and him believing it was not his. And like I said, whenever he would beat me, he wouldn't beat me to the point where, black my eyes, black eyes, bruised body, or anything like that anybody saw. But I had bruises on my body, but I kept them covered. I use an ice pack a lot of times. I use heated water bottle a lot of times. I sit in a very warm tub a lot of times. And nobody knew about that abortion. I didn't tell anybody. Back then you had the abortion and you could leave after, they made sure everything was okay, your vital signs and all that. But there was no counseling. There was no telling you that your body was still, you would still experience pain or phantom pains and all that. They didn't tell you would go through a depression period. They didn't tell you would cry a lot. They didn't say nothing like that. So after about a couple of months, 3 months after abortion, because he didn't, couldn't have sex with me until my body healed from the abortion. Went to the health department to get birth control pills. And he made sure I faithfully took the birth control pills. And he made sure that he watched everything I did. And he yet accused me of being what he called me, a slut, a whore. Because that baby wasn't his. I had that abortion because it was somebody else. And then when my body was healed enough, he decided we're going to have sex. He decided that he wanted me to do things to him. So I had to do it. I did it. Always in the back of my mind, I thought about, I wonder if that was a boy or girl that I aborted. And I faithfully took them birth control pills. I made sure I didn't miss a day. Because I told myself I would never, ever, ever have an abortion ever again. If that meant if I got pregnant, if that meant me being beat every day, I wasn't going to have no abortion. That was the most horrifying pain, horrible pain that you can imagine. And I got very depressed. And then I got beef for being depressed because they said I was depressed because I got rid of somebody else's baby. I can laugh now, but back then I couldn't laugh. I could talk about it now. Back then I couldn't talk about this. I could talk about it now because I'm free from that deceitful, failure, depressed, suicide attitude that I had. I'm free from it. I no longer have to worry about that anymore. I could tell my story. I could give my testimony. I could say, I know I've been there and I'm a survivor. I believe that if I didn't have any kids, I don't believe I would be here today. But then again, there's a reason for everything. So yeah, I would have been here because I would have to tell my story to help somebody. And I beat myself up. I really beat myself up with words about how disgusting I was to have an abortion. I beat myself up daily, but I had enough of strength to not allow my girls to see that part of me. When they were at school, he had weed. I would smoke some weed to get that there feeling out of my mind, out of my head, out of my thoughts. I would drink a little wine, but I was never to the point where I couldn't take care of my girls because I knew that I didn't want to sit there and constantly smoke all day while my girls was in school. No, because I had to be their mother. If they had a bad day at school, I had to be able to listen, hug them, tell them I love them. So that sad part of me, I put it I buried it way down inside so they would never experience how sad their mother was. I buried it. I I didn't think about it. I tried to be happy, but I knew parts of the happiness that I did have, it wasn't there. He has chipped away that happiness, that comfort. He was chipping that away. But every time he would abuse me, I was being chipped away of who I was. But I knew I had to go on for my girl's sake. I had to keep going on. I had to keep telling myself, you got to do this for them, for the girls. You got to do this for the girls. And I did. Did it for the girls. Kept myself up. Made sure that, I kept the house clean, clothes clean, food on the table. Made sure whenever he came home, he had something to eat. The girls had something to eat. And even if I wasn't hungry, I better eat. If I didn't eat, he thought I was he thought I was poisoning him. So I had to eat to prove to him I wasn't trying to kill him. So I would fix him a plate. He would have me to taste it first to make sure I didn't do anything to it. He was afraid, but yet he wasn't afraid enough to stop hitting me. He thought that, I would try to do something to him, but my girls, kept me with a mind frame to not let it go beyond that. Because I kept telling myself, one day I'm going to get out of this. I don't know when, but I know one day I'm going to escape and never look back. I'm going to close that revolving door one day and not come back through it. Once I go out that door, I'm going to cement it so that I will not go back. One day, I am going to be free. One day, I told myself that all the time. One day I'm going to be free. One day I'm going to get out of this. One day I'm going to escape and be happy. Told myself that a lot. So I understand if you say that. I understand. So I pray that I said something to lift someone up, keep you listening. And remember, you can get out. I did. Be blessed. God loves you, and so do I. Have a great night. Have a great day. Have a great morning. Be blessed.